It's all about upcycling this week. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, it is semifinals week, and we are down to our final four. We have Lydia, Isaac, Ailsa, and Holger. So I want to first of all say, forgive me if I make any mistakes. In the last video, I did switch up Simon and Isaac. Simon, in terms of like the lighting panels, it was Simon that did not finish, not Isaac. Isaac actually finished first. So if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. Yeah, so just wanted to go ahead and put that out there, that I did make a mistake on the last video. Okay, so for episode 7, we had a switch up. We actually had the team challenge first, then we had the individual challenge. So let's talk about this week's group challenge. All right, the contestants had to refashion an old charity shop Aran sweater into a catwalk worthy dress. So that's really cool. And they worked in 2 groups of 2. They used existing scraps that were available in the haberdashery, and the judges said that it had to fit the models perfectly. Also, they had 10 hours to complete this challenge. And also, in this case, Aran refers to the type of sweater, the style of sweater, not necessarily the weight of the sweater. In fact, their Aran sweater that was used in this video, it kind of reminds me of the one that Chris Evans wore in the movie Knives Out. Have you all seen that? Did you all see the sweater? It's this really nice Aran weight jumper. See, I said Aran weight. Aran style. That's something that I have to get used to. It's not the weight of the yarn, it's the style of the sweater. But anyway, so if I interchange those, forgive me. Okay, so let's talk about team 1. We have Ailsa and Isaac. All right, so they created a halter neck dress, and it featured a mini skirt that was long in the back and short in the front. They removed the arms of the sweater and used the front and back panels to form the body of the dress. Isaac knit the top of the dress and the lace corset that was on the back, and they also worked on the bottom of the dress, creating a Tinkerbell skirt with embroidery. So they did a beautiful job on that. And they used a yarn winder to unravel the yarn. So it was really nice to see a yarn winder being used in the competition, because that's something that us knitters and crocheters use a lot. So that was really nice. And basically they had to unravel the scraps of purple yarn. So they unraveled that, they got their yarn out of it, and then they used that as a pop of color. And I really liked that pop of color. You all know I love purple, so that pop of color was just amazing. However, the judges said that the dress fit well, but it needed more wow. And I was like, I thought it was pretty wow, but the judges felt like it needed a little bit of something. They didn't necessarily like the wings on the dress. I like they called it wings. It didn't look like wings to me, but they did not like that. And also the sewing edges they didn't like. And I understand where that came from. The sewing edges they weren't necessarily hidden, but I think that was part of the design. So let me know, what did you think of Ailsa and Isaac's dress? Okay, so up next we have team 2, which was Holger and Lydia. All right, so they used the front and the back panels of the sweater to make balloon sleeves. That's so awesome. They also used blanket offcuts from the haberdashery to form the body of the dress. So there was definitely a lot of sewing involved. Holger took on a lot of the sewing, but Lydia took on a lot of the knitting. So they really worked well together. They used the remaining sleeves to form the bottom half of the dress with knitted godets inserted in triangle panels to add volume. Now, I had no idea what a godet is. I had to look it up. So, godets are triangular or flared pieces of fabric inserted into a garment at a seam to add volume, flare, and movement, creating a fuller, more dramatic shape. And so once I saw what they were, I was like, oh yeah, I know what good days are. I just never knew that's what they were called. Like that was the proper name for them. The judges loved this dress. They said that it definitely had impact for the catwalk. So first place went to Holger and Lydia, and second place went to Elsa and Isaac. All right, so let's talk about this week's individual challenge. Okay, so for this week's challenge, they had to refashion a bag. The judges wanted the contestants to repurpose materials of their choice and turn it into yarn. The bag had to have structure because the judges were going to use 2 kilos or 4 pounds of yarn to test the weight of the bag. They had 10 hours for this challenge, and they could knit or crochet or both, whatever they wanted to do in their bag. And the bag had to have handles or handles or, why do I keep wanting to say straps? Yeah, straps, handle or straps. Yeah, so they could have either one of those. And also, when I talk about crochet stitches, I am referring to the UK term, okay? So I'll say things like double crochet, treble crochet, but just remember it is the UK term. All right, so up first we have Holger. So he talked about losing his job during the pandemic and taking care of his dad. And one thing I noticed about this particular episode is that we really got to know the contestants more on a personal level. So that was really nice. I enjoyed that. But for his bag, he cut up a bunch of t-shirts, and he said that he used the t-shirts because it made for a very clean stitch definition. Also, he was going for a bohemian festive style saddlebag, even though he had never been to a festival before, but that was his inspiration that he was going for. And he used single, half double, and double crochet stitches to give it a chic scalloped look. Also, he created a shoulder strap, a crochet button, and decorative fringe down at the bottom. And the judges said that the bag was like luxury. The bag looked like luxury. And y'all, let me tell you, I really like this bag. It is something that I would definitely wear. And it passed the weight test, so that was really nice. I'm so glad that it passed the weight test because I remember when Holger and Isaac had their deck chair competition. It did not hold Tom, so I felt like this was kind of like some redemption. Okay, so next up we have Elsa. For her bag, she was inspired by a vintage knitting pattern. And basically, they were using tights to make slippers. So she was like, okay, I'm going to use leggings. So for her material, that's what she chose. She chose a legging fabric. And she wanted to create an active bag for active people. You know, a lot of times when people are doing sports or different activities, they'll wear leggings or that type of athleisure type of fabric. So that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to create a bag, an active bag for active people. So she crocheted her bag using double crochet and treble crochet. She added a shoulder strap and a water bottle pocket. I thought that was really neat. If you're working out, you got to have your water bottle. So I thought that it was a very functional bag. I really liked the pop of teal color that she had on the handles. And I also liked that you could either, with her bag, you could either use one single strap or you can double it and you can have a double handle. So that was really cool. The judges did not like the construction of the bag, but it did pass the weight test, so that was good. And even Elsa, she admitted that since Kids Week, she feels like she just hasn't been as confident and she was starting to doubt herself. And, you know, this competition, this particular challenge was not her strongest, but even she felt that in the last few weeks, she's been starting to doubt herself. So I'm hoping later on in the competition, in the future of the competition, she will get that confidence back. Okay, so up next we have Lydia. For her bag, she upcycled African wax print fabric. And I love how she's always sticking to her roots of Africa and always bringing that back into her design. It's really been a theme this season, so I really like that. She knitted her bag using the linen stitch to give it a woven fabric. And she crocheted around plastic rings for the handle. So that was really nice. The judges loved her bag and it passed the weight test. So that's good. And yeah, just all her African designs. I feel like if you were to take some of Lydia's past projects and put them into one collection, it would have like this nice African theme going on. So, you know, I really like that. And I personally would love to wear that bag, or either it would make a great project bag. Let me know, would you wear some of these bags and what would you use them for? But next we have Isaac. So his bag was designed to look like a mint humbug. He called it a hum bag. Now, I had no idea what a mint humbug was. I was like, what in the world is that? But it turns out that it is a candy. In particular, it is a classic British boiled sweet known for its bold peppermint flavor, distinctive black and white or brown stripes, and a chewy, creamy toffee center. That sounds delicious. That I would love to taste some of that candy, but that's what it is. And basically his inspiration was his grandma used to always carry these candies in her bag. And he also learned later in life that she used to crochet. So this was kind of an homage to his grandmother, which I thought was really sweet. For his bag, he used a mix of black and white t-shirts. He knit the bag using panels of stripped stocking stitch, and he crocheted around hair curlers for the handle. He did admit that he ran out of time, and it was unfortunate because not only was he not able to add his zipper, but he was also not able to add the lace. He was going to have the lace kind of look like a candy wrapper, and it was going to be like so basically his grandmother, before she passed, she had been working on a lace project, and he was going to kind of mimic that lace project in his bag. And I would have loved to see him finish his bag because I feel like it was going to be amazing. But unfortunately, the judges did notice that the bag was incomplete, and even the judges said that it was a shame that he didn't finish. So, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Isaac mentioned that time was a factor for him this entire competition. So the big knitter for this week was Holger, and he got his third sheet badge. And unfortunately, the person that was cast off this episode was Isaac. I feel like Isaac did an amazing job on this show. I really feel like he grew, and I just think he did amazing. And I think he's going to do amazing things in the future. All right, so I did want to quickly talk about some of my thoughts that I had during the show. I really only have one that kind of puzzled me a little bit, and that was the judges at the beginning of the dress challenge. The judges told them that the dresses had to fit the models perfectly. The only thing about that is the models only came out after the dresses were already done. So I'm wondering, were they able to try the dresses on the models throughout the process? Were they given measurements for the model? Unfortunately, that did not come out in the edit. And, you know, maybe it did happen, but it would have been nice to see them trying it on the models while they're making it. Because, you know, how do they know it's going to fit if they only see the models towards the end? And even, it was Elsa's team. They, at first, the skirt was a little too tight on the model, so they had to let it out a little bit. And I feel like that could have been prevented if they had have been able to try the dresses on the models while they were making it. So I don't know. It could be in the edits. I'm not sure. They film all day. These are 10 and 12-hour challenges, and they have to whittle it down to 45 minutes. So, you know, it could have just not been in the edit. Okay. So each week, Tom sits down and does an exit interview with the person that was cast off. He said that he learned lace for the first time. Before coming on the show, he had never done lace. And also he said that basically his journey started to unravel during the jewelry challenge. That was really when he felt like things started going down for him. He said that he did his best, but Tom caught up with him. And that was kind of like his nemesis during this whole entire competition, was just Tom. He had beautiful designs and things like that, but unfortunately he was just not able to execute those designs. He said that his favorite thing was finishing the sofa challenge, and he said that he never wants to see that sofa again, but he did enjoy the challenge. Also, he said that he was very proud of his deck chair. Even though Tom sank in it, he was very proud of that deck chair. He did say that next time he would redo his bag because he ran out of time and he really wanted to finish that bag, but he just simply ran out of time. He said that it's not that he doesn't want to knit in the yarn barn, but that there's a difference between knitting what you want to knit versus what somebody is telling you to knit. Basically, Tom asked him, like, what was the difference between being in the yarn barn and being outside the yarn barn? And he basically said, the difference is when I'm outside the yarn barn, I can knit what I want with all the time in the world. But inside the yarn barn, it was a lot of pressure and a time limit. And it's different between somebody telling you what you can knit and you just knitting what you want to knit. And I understood that. I was like, okay, I can totally understand that. Also, he mentioned that he had never designed before coming to the show. So not only did he learn how to do lace, but he also learned how to design. So that was really good. He also mentioned that he was very pleased with his bagel, as he should be. That bagel was amazing. Remember, it had the magnet in it and it was created with short rows. Incredible. He also mentioned that in the future, he wants to create wearables. And as we saw during the competition, he really made some good wearables. He said that his one piece of advice was to gauge swatch. Gauge swatching is very, very important, and he wants us all to know that. He says that it will save you a lot of hassle, and I have to agree with him that gauge swatching saves you a lot of hassle. So let me know, are you one that gauge swatch, or you're like, no, I'm living on the edge, I don't gauge swatch? I did want to share with you all what I am wearing. So this is my Cumberland Tank designed by Alexander Tavel of Two of Wands. And also I'm wearing the Easy Fingerless gloves designed by Alex Del Renga. So I made an entire video about this set, and I will leave my Ravelry link below with the video link in it as well. Also, check out my review of episodes 1 through 6. I will leave a playlist attached to this video at the end. And there's only one episode left, and I am so excited. It's going to be coming out this Sunday, so I'm very excited about that. Of course, I'll probably be watching it on Monday just because of the time difference. I don't know. Maybe I'll stay up. Maybe I'll stay up and watch it. I don't know. We'll see what we do. But let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? I would love to know. I love reading you all's comments. Also, click that like bell and that notification button. I said that backwards. Click the like button and click the notification bell so you know when I have made a new video. Also, thank you all so much for subscribing. I'm trying to reach 12,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm super close, so I would love your help with that. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Share with a friend. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. And until next time, bye.